1 point a month before treatment, and then 100% improvement would be no change, so zero progression. And so we did actually find a fair number of people in over 70% at 2 weeks on the treated versus 40, and then over time that decreased, but really reproducibly that there were more of that in the treated group. Again, that's using all the data. Just and this is also using all the data. So 100% is going flat, no progression. We also define responder as a change, a positive change in your slope of 1.5 points per month on ALS-FRS or greater. So that's a big improvement. So for example, if someone was declining 2 points per month before, it meant that afterwards they would be declining 0.5 per month. Or if they were declining 0.5 months before, they would be actually getting better by 1 point a month. So when we did that in all the groups, again, there were a higher percent of responders in the treated group at all the time points. We did the same analysis in the rapid progressors. And here again we see many more people in the treated group having this response, whether you defined it by 100% improvement or a change in your slope, a positive change in your slope by 1.5 minutes or not. And then over time, again, that effect went away, which would make sense again with a treatment that was just given once. So the other way we looked at it is, and again, I think this is okay in the phase 2 study. Some of this was pre-specified, some was post-hoc. This was one of the post-hoc analysis. So we had set the bar very high in the prior slide at 100% improvement, so no progression. We also looked at what if it was 80% slower, or 60%, or 20%. Again, red is placebo. So this is all participants. So we see that it's pretty uniform that at each of these types of cutoff, there's about 20% more of the people treated who meet that definition of responder. And in the rapid progressive group over here, again, it's a higher bar for all of those. So this gave us, some excitement that it would be worth pursuing in phase 3, but that maybe the phase 3 should focus on rapid progressors. The other thing that is exciting is this is 24 weeks, the other was 12 weeks, is the biomarker work. And again, here is very similar to what you saw from Dr. Kim, is that we looked at changes in MCP1. And we saw almost a similar thing, that people who had the biggest drop in MCP1 with treatment, and that was just at 2 weeks, because we only had one time, they had the best clinical effect. And so that's encouraging as a way to maybe have a tool to be able to pick out responders. We also saw that we could measure actually these growth factors that the cells were secreting in the spinal fluid in people with ALS. So this gave us a biomarker that the treatment was having its biological effect, both in secreting the growth factors and in reducing one measure of inflammation. So I think that is a good phase 2 study. You got safety, you know that you're having a biological effect, and you might have some hints of a response. So that trial is now in a phase 3 trial in people who are defined as rapid progressors, and it's currently enrolling, and we don't expect results for quite some time. So now I'm just going to move in the last couple of minutes to this idea of biologically rich cohorts, in particular the SOD1. So one of the excitements of really preparing for SOD1 and C9 studies is that these are really rare forms of the illness, and here's where a consortium such as yours can have a big impact by working together to find these patients and collecting data in a rigorous way that could be used as comparison groups. Because it could be very hard to do large phase 3 trials in these groups, and there are lots of examples from other diseases where drugs have been improved by comparison to natural history data, if that data is collected in the same way you would prep for a clinical trial. So now there is an active C9 natural history study going on in the United States as well as in SOD1. But I think we need to broaden that and really go global for those types of studies. One of the first patients I ever took care of had SOD1 ALS, and as a fellow I took care of her and her siblings. And again, that was 1995, and I'm very excited that now, I wish it had been sooner, I really think that we have a treatments that are going to help people with SOD1. So the first antisense trial was done in 2011. It was a phase 1 study. It turned out to be very safe in people, but that particular antisense oligo did have some toxicity in animals. So they had to make a different version of it, and that took a couple of years. But now a new version of that is in a phase 1 trial. There's a lot of data suggesting that lowering SOD1 with antisense helpful, and then you can get broad distribution of these antisense oligos. And this is work really done by Tim Miller and Richard Smith and many others. So the Biogen study is, I believe, at this point fully enrolled, and this is a phase 1 single or multi-dose study of escalating doses, and the single first part, then multiple. And I'm very happy to say that the study also includes open label, where the people in the study can continue to get monthly injections in the spinal fluid of this antisense oligo. They are just starting now plans for a global phase 3 trial. And I hope that this is something that the PACTALS will be very involved in as well. We're going to need everybody, I think, to find these patients. So, do I have a couple minutes?
I think we have enough time for coffee break, so please finish it.
I'll just talk in the last 1 minute that I think the other huge opportunity is the sharing of data. I mentioned PROACT, which is the pool of clinical trials. The good news is every trial company now doing phase 3 trials has agreed to donate the placebo arm. It's now become kind of standard, and that's available to everybody. And then the other is this idea of sharing our clinical data. So we've built this great system called NeuroBank, where if a patient is in a study with Stan and in a study with me, we can link them through this NeuroGUID, and we can use their data no matter where they're getting their care or their studies. And so we now have over 4,000 people in NeuroBank, and it's linked to their samples, and these are again all available for any scientist wants to access them. And we can also find that there's some super volunteers. Some people have really been in many studies. So we're very excited to keep growing this platform. So I think that we're in an amazing time right now, that hopefully in a year or 2 years we'll have even more treatments, drugs, gene therapy, stem cells, and that we'll really start to think about this illness as a chronic illness where people can live with it and live well. And I'm really, again, looking forward to more communication and collaborations with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Although there's time left, but if any of you have burning question to ask now, please do so. Please.